This is a bike that I featured a few times on the channel. It is a 1998 Specialized Rockhopper, which is now my sort of, well, my go-to sort of flat bar gravel bike really. I do have a gravel bike. It's just under here with the traditional drop bars on it. But this is my go-to drop bar, jump on for a quick ride gravel bike. And I've done videos on it before and I've said, oh, it's super cheap to make one of these, you know, make a parts bin build kind of thing. And some people have asked me what kind of cost is actually involved in doing this. So this is probably 150 quid's worth of old Specialized Rockhopper. All of these parts for the one bike conversion, the large mountain bike cassette on the back, are all parts bin. So I mean, you could buy these, pick these parts up second hand on eBay really cheaply, or if you have a donor bike of some kind, obviously you can use that. So yeah, basically a parts bin one bike conversion. I've got pedals on there that will take my mountain bike and gravel clips. These are on one handlebars, which I go on about all the time. These alt bars by On One. These are the OGs. I think they're OG version 2s, and they've got this sweep, which I'll show you. There you go. Sweeps quite a way back, look. So it's a super comfy, proper all-day comfort riding position. That I'll show you from the top. So yeah, it's a super comfy all-day riding position. This bike, I just keep going to it. Even though I've got the gravel bike there, if things are going to be a little bit rowdy, it's good to have that little bit of suspension on there. Gravel tyres are getting fatter and fatter anyway, so these 2.1s, and I think that's a 2.3, are great for some of the more sort of extreme end of Welsh gravel. But generally, it's just super cheap. I mean, I put a charge spoon saddle on there. Obviously, a saddle is a personal choice thing, but the charge spoon is really a really comfy fit and forget saddle for me, so I've used that. It has hydraulic brakes, but they are very cheap Shimano hydraulic brakes. The front fork already had disc brake mounts on it, and on the rear I'm running one of those adapters. So there's an adapter plate on the rear. I don't know where you can see on this side. There's an adapter plate down here that I've had absolutely no trouble with at all. I think it was about 12 quid, and I've given it an absolute hammering. I was a little bit dubious of it because obviously you're basically putting a clamp on mount on for the rear caliper. But for gravel, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say put one on a downhill mountain bike, but for gravel, which is what this bike is used for, it's been absolutely bulletproof. I've given this bike a beating this winter. It's probably the bike I've ridden most all winter. Oh, and obviously with the hydraulic brakes, where the bike wasn't designed to have them originally, it had cable brakes, so I've just cable tied the hose along underneath. But what you can do is machine these cable guides out. You could machine the guides out to take the hoses, and I have seen that done before, just drilled out wider. Obviously it's an aluminium frame, 1998 Rockhopper, again with the patina, you know me and patina. It's got a few scars on it. I think it's all the better for it. Got my crud catcher on there as well. Yeah, you know, it isn't a perfect bike. It's got marks, it's got scratches. We're back on this patina rant again. But what incredible, you know, for a bike that as a donor bike would be about 150 quid, and then you could basically chuck it together with second-hand parts to give yourself a one by flat bar gravel bike. And I go out with the lads on this, and they're on their £1,000-2,000 gravel bikes. There'd be no issue. There's no problem with me keeping up on a gravel route or an off-road route, and there are points on the route where I'd have an advantage, because at the end of the day this thing has got that fork on the front, and it is an old school mountain bike. And gravel is, I've said this a million times, gravel is basically what we were doing on these mountain bikes when they were new. It's exactly the same riding. So if you've got an old Specialized or an old whatever 90s MTB, I know I keep going on about them, they do make tremendous flat bar gravel bikes, and as far as bang for buck goes, it's just so much fun for no money at all. I just love this thing. I think it looks really cool too. So yeah, have a little think about, if you're thinking of sort of trying out gravel, maybe you're a mountain biker and you've got your modern mountain bike or your e-bike, have a look in your shed at your old mountain bike and do a conversion like this. I don't know if like those on-one bars, I think they're about 30 quid normally, but I think I got them on offer for a tenner at one point. Oh, and the shifting on this is just a friction shifter, friction thumb shifter, which works perfectly well then with that 10-speed wide range mountain bike cassette on the back. It's super smooth. Yeah, so it's just a very, very, very cheap bike that is a massive amount of fun, and anyone could sort of just chuck one together really from whatever old 90s mountain bike they've got lying around. So yeah, pop in the shed. Maybe if you've got some time off now over Christmas, pop in the shed and have a look at your old 90s mountain bike and see what you can come up with.